When someone asks, what's wrong? But nothing's actually wrong. That's just how your face looks normally. To make matters worse, it's not just that I have like a resting face that just looks like I'm upset apparently. I don't know if I just forget to blink sometimes, but then my eyes end up really dry and then they look really red and it just makes me look like I'm either super tired or this close to crying. And just kind of that on a constant basis, which is fun of course, because then people always look at you like they're worried about you. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some neurodivergent memes, because once again I have found some on my phone. A couple of old ones, like from 2022, I have no words, and a bunch of new ones I saved recently, so I feel like it's gonna be a good mixture. But anyways, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Go. Let's go. To ADHD people being friends, be like, yo bro, sorry I forgot your existence for months. Lol, it's cool, I forgot you existed too. Let's hang out. But then you actually gotta hang out fairly soon, because otherwise you're gonna forget about each other again. Which is maybe a problem. Like, it actually, like, it really helps. Like, I don't totally forget about people, because I just, like, remember them at, like, random points, and then forget to text them, because I'm, like, doing something else, or I'm thinking about something else, I'm like, no, I need to do this thing first. You know, but it kind of helps if you have, like, a show or something that you only watch together with this friend. Because then, it kind of helps, because at some point you're gonna be like, wait, I haven't watched the show in forever, we need to watch this again, and then just like hit your friend up, and then you go hang out, and you cook and like talk together, and then you can like watch the show, and you know, it kind of helps actually. The sentence in my mind, literally the same sentence when I try to say it out loud. Why do so many of us struggle with this? Because even it's worse when I talk to people, but it also happens when I'm kind of just like sitting here by myself, talking to myself or talking to my camera. It literally still happens, but it's so much worse when I talk to people. Because something about being around people just is kind of unsettling, I guess. I'm not sure unsettling really, but just irritating. I don't know, but it makes me lose my train of thought even more, and then I just like, I had a sentence, I knew what I wanted to say, but then I suddenly can't say it anymore. It still happens, like, when I'm alone, but it happens so much more around people. The more I read about ADHD, the more I feel like one of those birds that got imprinted on a human and grew up having no freaking idea it's a duck. Like, not even about things I suck at, but freaking everything I thought was only a part of my personality. Like, imagine being like, oh man, I hate taking walks next to bodies of water. I always want to jump in, and it's really hard to resist the urge, and either I jump into the water and people get weirded out, or I have to spend the entire time resisting the urge to go into the water, so I'm distracted from the conversation and people will get annoyed with me. That's because you're a duck. The what? You want to be in water because you're a duck. People don't get the urge to go into very random bodies of water every time they see one. That's a duck urge. You have it because you're a duck. Wait, other people aren't just better at resisting the urge, they literally just don't have it in the first place? Yes. Oh, this is literally kind of what it's like realizing that there's a reason for a lot of things. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's like, no, other people aren't better at hiding their like overstimulation or hiding how angry they get when they're out shopping, because they're so overstimulated and so just overwhelmed by everything happening that they cannot focus on someone talking to them anymore. Other people aren't just better at hiding that. Other people don't have that issue. You know, because like really, I had no freaking clue. I was like 15 or 16 and I was shopping with my best friend. Well, ex-best friend by now, but I'm fairly certain she had ADHD. And my mother or she just picked us up or something, I don't know. And then they were just like sitting there and talking to me, and I was just standing there and I could not focus. I could not hear anything. And they were like trying to have a conversation with me. Did not work well, but this is kind of like something that happened a lot to me. And for the longest idea, I had no idea why, but I guess I am just a dog. You know, not sure if I'm really bad at sleeping, or just really good at thinking. I don't think you're good at thinking. Because I feel like if you're good at thinking, you manage to actually like think through a problem or something, and then reach a conclusion. If you just keep overthinking the same thing every night, and the same thing like 100 times per night, I wouldn't say that qualifies as being good at thinking. You know? And I'm not saying I'm better, because honestly, same, but like, I think you're just bad at sleeping. And so am I. I think that's probably it. Aisle 12. Craft supplies, snacks, caffeine, pajamas. Okay, I've never seen a more obvious trap in my life, but I'm gonna check it out just to be safe. No other reason. We need to be safe, right? We need to make sure it's not a trap. Right? Honestly, the only, like, actually pajamas are probably very comfortable. So, yeah, but you could not lure me with like fuzzy socks or pajamas, probably, but caffeine, craft supplies, and snacks seems like the best combo, actually. Me watching Bake Off. You fool, you cannot dip the walnut whirl in the tempered chocolate. You have to drizzle over the top to achieve the characteristic wobble of the coffee ganache, Parisian cafe style. Me baking at home. I forgot to put apples in the apple pie. It's worse when you have everything you need for a recipe or for like a cake. Except for one thing. And then you go out and buy the one thing. Like, whatever, you need butter. You go out to buy the butter because you don't have it at home. You come back home, you make the cake, and realize you forgot to put the butter in it that you went out of your way to go buy. Yeah. This is... I don't even remember what it was. I don't think it was apple pie, but I meant to do something and I forgot something like really important. I think I was making chili con carne, but it just ended up being like sauce because I forgot to put like the beans and the corn and everything into it. So I had like the ground beef, or I think I used like a vegan product. And I had tomato sauce, and it was spicy, but I forgot to add beans and corn, and then it was just basically spicy tomato sauce. So I can't come for you for getting apples and apple pie, because that sounds like something that might very realistically happen to me, because I was functioning very well that day, apparently. When you realize you've been reading with your eyes, but not your brain for the last 3 pages. At least you remember how many pages it's been, right? Because it's the worst thing when you don't even know where you stopped, and they just like have to go back and be like, no, wait, that's way too early. It's the same thing when you like scroll back at a series or a movie because you forgot to pay attention. And then you scroll back too far, and then it's like, no, I remember this, and then you scroll back forwards, or like, you know, turn the pages back forwards, and then you realize you've gone too far. So you have to go back again, and it takes a while. So honestly, if you remember that it's 3 pages, you're very lucky, but I have a feeling you probably didn't remember very well. It might be 5 pages, it might only be 1 page, it might be more than 5 pages. Good luck figuring it out. I don't always go the extra mile, but when I do, it's because I missed my exits. But seriously, why? Just be like, no, I cannot miss my exit. I cannot miss my exit. I'm gonna remember my exit. And then you get distracted like 2 meters before the exit, basically. And then it's like in a place. it's never in a place where the exits are super close together, so you can just like take the next one and it's not like that dramatic. No, it's always in the most inconvenient place, where the exits are super far apart, or it's just like not possible to go like off the highway and then just like immediately on the highway in the other direction so you can just go back. It's always in the most inconvenient places. And I feel like this is very frustrating. This would be frustrating to anyone. But things like this just happen so much more frequently, and it's great. Wanting friends, not wanting to contact anyone on a regular basis, and then trying to make it work. Like wanting friends, but being super annoyed and frustrated when people text you is also a great combo, because I get so agitated and irritated by it, because it's like, why are you texting me? I'm trying to focus on something right now. Because someone texting me immediately breaks that focus. Because I always have my phone near me, because if I don't, I have no idea where it is anymore. You know? And that's just like super irritating to me. And usually only like for a few seconds, because I'm like annoyed that it distracted me, but I'm still glad the person texted me, but I'm still annoyed at it, you know? And then I mean to text back, and then I don't, and then I forget, and then I get distracted by other things, and then suddenly it's been a week, and I'm sorry, but it's gonna happen again. Hearing someone crack their knuckles, no, oh my god, the worst. Me doing it. Well, actually, I can't even do it that much, and I sometimes do it without noticing it, because I just like play with my hands really as a stim, and then I don't even notice I'm doing it. But other people react the same way too, really, because a lot of people hate that noise. A lot of people hate it, and then they react like on the top, and then you're just like, sorry, you know, like. But especially if you don't do it on purpose, because you're not even like aware you're doing it in that moment. Like, don't snap at me, please. Just politely tell me to stop. My autistic ass trying to decide what to wear for the day. Yeah. I gotta be honest, my closet does not look like this. But I feel like I've gone past like trying to resist the urge. Like if I find a shirt, for example, that fits super well and isn't scratchy and just fits well, I'm gonna buy it in several colors. Like I've resisted the urge to do that because people thought it was cringy in high school, but who gives a shit? If you find it and you like it and you find it in like different colors that you like, because honestly I mostly wear black, so I'm probably just gonna get it in black twice and then like maybe a gray or a white, right? Maybe like green if they have it, but then it's gonna look different than this, but it's also gonna look slightly like this, really, because if something is comfortable and doesn't give you sensory issues, why wouldn't you buy it twice? I base my fashion sense on what doesn't itch. Just to reiterate, if it doesn't itch, if it's sitting well, if it makes you feel comfortable, why wouldn't you like buy multiples of it and just wear it a lot? You know? Like, if you don't have sensory issues, good for you, you can like pick your clothes by different standards, but if you have sensory issues, this just is kind of the only thing that makes sense. My ADHD brain, when I'm not immediately perfect at the hobby I was hyped up to start. Okay, if something's hard to do, then it's not worth doing. Brain? Can you not? Like, can you not? Nothing is more frustrating because you still kind of want to do it, but then you really don't want to do it. But then you're just bored because you want to do something new, but then you're just so frustrated because it didn't immediately work like you wanted it to, that everything else also sounds like a bad idea. It's not just that hobby that seems like a bad idea now, it's suddenly like everything. Because like, no, I'm sure other things aren't gonna work either. We're just gonna be bored and be miserable about it, I guess. This is not an email I ever expected to receive or send. The AI design of your email is clever, but significantly lacks warmth. Would it be possible to be contacted by a human being moving forward instead of AI? Many things. It's not an AI, I'm just autistic. See you next Friday. Whoops. Did not expect this to happen, but... well... I guess. But this would definitely happen to me. Like, people complain, or like my boss kind of complained that my emails sometimes sound rude. Even though I really didn't meant it to, but I guess I also just write too directly. And don't do the whole, oh, I hope you had a nice weekend, and how are you doing? What's new? Well, anyways, I have a question, if you don't mind. Like, I don't do that. I just be like, hey, or good morning, or whatever, and then just ask the question I'm like, need the information to or something. And then people just, I can see getting this reaction as well, actually. But, well, it's not an AI. I'm just autistic. Get off my back. Could you elaborate? No, I literally forgot what I just said, because why would I remember what I just said? I already said it. Like, sometimes this works. Like, sometimes we remember what we just said. But usually, it's always the moments when someone asks us to elaborate or explain. As soon as you ask that, you can just be sure that we can't, because we literally just forgot what we said. And then if you also have ADHD or something, you're not gonna remember either. And then we're both standing there and we both have no idea anymore, which is great. I mean, it actually really is, because then the other person can't be mad because I also forgot. And then it's just kind of funny. But, you know, as in terms of the conversation going on, it might be a little bit of a problem. Okay, you don't have to put your hands up for an emotional roller coaster. But why wouldn't you, though? Does it make it a little bit more fun and bearable? Maybe. If the answer is yes for you, then you absolutely should put your hands up for an emotional roller coaster. Because honestly, I don't think it can make it worse, right? Like, I don't think it's gonna make you feel worse during the emotional roller coaster, so why wouldn't you really? I had a thought, but unfortunately I had a second thought. They ricochet off each other, and now I can't find either anymore. So yeah, don't ask us what we're thinking about either, because maybe we know. Maybe you're about to get a 10-minute rant about the most random things that don't make sense in your head but made absolute sense in our head. Or it's something like this, and we thought about a million things. I don't know where we started, I don't know what my point was, but they're around here somewhere, if I can find them again. Not telling your kids they have a learning disability, chronic illness, mental illness, etc. so they can feel normal actually does the opposite. They will not feel normal if they do not have the context to understand that their normal will be different from that of their peers. The amount of times I've heard a parent say something like, oh, I'm just not gonna tell my son he has ADHD, I want him to feel normal. He does not. He does not feel normal. He's wondering why he's struggling and coming to the conclusion that he's an irredeemable failure. Okay, don't do this. Literally, like, you already went through the trouble to have a doctor confirm something about your child, whether that's like a physical illness that's just gonna make their normal different, or whether it's like ADHD or something else. You already went through the trouble to have a doctor confirm it. And then you don't tell your kid, because why? This literally, it makes no sense. Because it just doesn't. Talk to anyone who grew up like undiagnosed or who had their parents lie to them when they were younger. They will tell you that it's absolute bullshit. Because kids haven't had the time to build up that prejudice against it, probably. Like, adults have a lot of prejudice against disabilities, and they think it's somehow weird and that it's better if you don't talk about it and if you don't know about it. But the thing is, if you don't tell your kid he has ADHD, he still has ADHD. Same goes for like physical differences, right? Why wouldn't you tell them? Like, not talking about it doesn't actually make it go away. It just literally makes the kid struggle more. Why? How did you come to this conclusion, really? I wish I could turn back time and walk a different path. You can still do that now. Nah. But you literally can. Listen, the amount of times it took me probably like 5 years to actually start a YouTube channel. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, I didn't even tell anyone. And then like one of my friends asked if I wouldn't want to do it. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I think I will at some point. I just don't know what I will do with my channel, even though I kind of knew I wanted to do this. But anyways, I didn't want to tell her in that moment. And then it took like another 2 years or something after that conversation for me to actually do it. You still can, right? Like, it's never too late to start. And even if you like decided against it actively, because for me it was more of a, I don't know how to start, I don't know what to do, you know, and then I just didn't want to because I was scared, right? But even if you like actively decided, no, I'm not going to do this, you can still decide to do it later on. It's literally okay. Sometimes the executive function fairy godmother finally shows up, whacks you, and then you gotta go run around like Cinderella on a midnight deadline trying to get things done before time runs out and your brain makes it illegal again. But literally this. And I feel like this is something people don't understand. And honestly, like, I don't understand where the fairy, like, because literally it kind of just feels random sometimes of when you get the energy, like the mental energy, to actually like get up and do things. I have no idea. It seems so random that a fairy godmother just kind of makes sense. But she's invisible. I never see her coming. I just, you know, feel it happening, and I'm just like, oh shit, gotta hurry now. Gotta hurry. I fucked up so badly. I have so many things to do. You know, very that, actually. Having zero emotional permanence is so funny. Your therapist asks how your week was, and you're just like, girl, I have no idea. I was like, yeah, no, I think it was fine. I think it was really okay, and you've had like 5 mental breakdowns. You wanted to quit your job 3 times per day, at least. Maybe 3 times an hour. You wanted to yell at every second person who talked to you. You probably broke like your favorite mug or something, but you have no idea anymore. No. Can't remember. But this is literally me. Only I'm not in therapy anymore. But this was me when I was still in therapy, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm sure it was fine. And then, like, you're talking a bit more, and then a few things maybe come back. But then you remember on the drive home, you're just like, oh shit, I forgot the very important thing I wanted to talk about. And I had a notebook with me in therapy. I took notes for my next therapy session. Did I forget to put things in the notes? Probably. But I had notes, and I still forgot things that were in the notes. So don't ask me how I did it if I literally had the notebook in my hand, because I don't know. My anxiety the rest of the year versus my anxiety in December. Because it's still there. It just looks a little different. Although actually I feel like for a lot of people their anxiety just gets worse in December, because so many people have difficult relationships with their families and have to see them for Christmas. Well, actually, newsflash, you don't have to. But I get that you feel like you have to, because sometimes it's just easier to avoid those arguments of why you're not coming, but you can always call in sick, really. You can just say you're coming down with something and, you know, try to get out of it that way if you don't feel like just being like, no, sorry, I don't have time, or sorry, I have other appointments or something. You know, you can always just say you're sick. ADHD is asking, wait, what are we talking about again, when you're the one that's talking? Why do I have several versions of this meme? I don't know, because apparently I also forgot I saved it. And these two were like saved in the span of like 2 weeks, I think. It's not one from 22 and one from now. I think I literally both saved these fairly recently. I'm the one saving the memes, but I'm the one forgetting which memes I saved or even that I did save memes. So there you go, I guess. Them. Autistic people are really bad at communicating. My autistic reality, I'm good at communication if I'm able to communicate in a way that's suited to my needs, like in writing, or if I have been given time to prepare, or if I'm communicating about something I'm deeply interested in or knowledgeable on. But no, that's different, apparently. Like, yeah, sure, a lot of neurotypical people maybe have an easy time just communicating normally in speaking in words. And then suddenly, if you can't, then you're a bad person or something. I don't get it. As a teenager, I used to feel so bad about it because I wasn't able to talk about things, but I was like writing letters, and I think at some point my mom yelled at me why don't I like just come downstairs and talk to her about something, why I would write a letter, and I think she maybe have actually just like ripped the letter and threw it away. To this day, I don't know if she read it first and then decided to be dramatic about it or not, but that is not how you teach your kids to talk to you. You know, first of all, and second of all, if a way of communicating works better for you than another, why would you, like, come for that, really? And just as a reminder, because I feel like this might be very needed for a lot of people here, I don't know who out there needs to see this, but go put your laundry in the dryer. Do it. Really just do it, because otherwise you're gonna forget. Which is why I saved this one for last, because go do your laundry. You know, don't let it get moldy in the washing machine. Anyways, if you're still here, congrats for being on top of your laundry, I guess. I hope you enjoyed the memes. I hope you feel as called out as I do. Because again, I save the memes, forget about the memes, and then I feel called out again when I share them with you, which is great, amazing. But anyways, I hope you feel called out too. I hope you hydrated. If not, maybe go drink something now, and I'll be back in a few days with my next video.